So before we get into the main topic, I just want to answer one question. And this question is from Daniel B. 9672. They write, you may have covered this in a previous video, but do you think the Republic fighter tank is over-hoarded? Now here's the deal. If you were to hear this question, I know a lot of you out there will say, well, isn't it obvious? And that may be the case. But I really think people need to have the right perspective on determining whether this set specifically or any other set is over-hoarded, right? So I've talked about this in the past. When the 501st Battle Pack came out, everybody was saying it was over-hoarded, it's over-hoarded, it's over-hoarded, which is true. In my opinion, it's true. But if you have a strong enough sales velocity, it doesn't matter if it's over-hoarded or not. If you were to look at the price for what it's selling on Amazon right now, I really don't think in retrospect that this set was ever over-hoarded, because there are hundreds and thousands of people out there building clone armies. And I think it's the same way for the Republic fighter tank, right? Now there's a lot of conjecture, and rightfully so, on whether or not the fighter tank is going to be over-hoarded or not. Is the market saturated right now? Absolutely. But what happens when this set retires? I know a few people out there and they will say, well, this isn't a canon set, which is true. But there are other Star Wars sets out there that were not canon that have had decent ROIs, right? There was this one TIE fighter I had a couple years ago that has done relatively well since it has retired. Now, are there somewhere around 150 resellers on Amazon selling this fighter tank? Absolutely. But there's a few things to think about, and I'm going to ask you a question. If I were to hold this set up right here, the box of boys, my son is in the middle of building this, or this set right here, this is a damaged set, which is why it's still on the shelf. And if you looked at Amazon and you saw that both of these had 150 resellers listed on Amazon, which one is over-hoarded? My opinion, it's the Batmobile, not the Republic fighter tank. Another thing you want to think about is, and don't discount this, everybody knows this is a Target exclusive, right? Target exclusives relatively do rather well. Sure, there might be 150 resellers of the Republic fighter tank on Amazon, but what is their quantity, right? Has anybody checked that out? Do you know how to check that out? You should, if you know what you're doing. So I just wanted to give a little bit of food for thought for the Republic fighter tank, and I know for myself it's kind of a wait and see. Is this set over-hoarded? I'm not leaning that it is yet. It might be, but it might not be. Who knows, right? Only time will tell. All right, let's rip right into the main topic. So there are a lot of people, resellers I know personally, and some people on the forums that are talking about they have certain sets that are restricted on Amazon, right? And I just want to give a couple thoughts about it. Now, fortunately, I don't see a lot of people out there overreacting when it comes to this. Is this something that is of concern? Sure, but I don't think that there is reason to overreact. There were a lot of people that overreacted, I think back in May, and I want to say rightfully so, because there was a brief time for like a week or 2 weeks where everybody was gated, and that was a little bit more of a dire situation, right? But I do have some thoughts on this recent restriction. Now, me personally, I don't have any Lego sets that are restricted that I'm selling, which is actually surprising because I have had Lego sets in the past that have been restricted. I know Speed Champions, out of the blue, we were restricted from reselling that for a few weeks. Not sure why, and honestly I don't care since that was quite some time ago. But you should always remember, Amazon will protect Amazon and Lego before they will ever protect you. When it comes to self-preservation, they will absolutely leave you in the gutter before anything negative will happen to them. That's just the way it is. And for those of you that don't know, this just isn't around Lego, right? These are around other things out there. There are some shoes, there are some electronics out there that are in similar situations, some resellers I talked to. And in my opinion, that's good news. You should not think that Amazon or Lego has you know, started a ground assault towards your reselling business and they're trying to attack you. It's just not the case. This is just something that they're doing, again, to protect themselves or someone else that they like more than you, just the truth. And eventually you will be able to resell those sets again. Another thought that I've had is those legal letters that Lego kept on sending out for some time, it seems like they're not working, right? And so this is a new step that Amazon is doing to try and protect Lego and Amazon and make sure that they have a good relationship. But again, these are Lego sets that you should be unrestricted eventually. Don't know when. I would be very surprised if it was after Christmas. It would probably be before the end of the month. So what can you do about this in the meantime? Well, I can't exactly say what you can do because I've had some people that have contacted me and they say you absolutely can't say this in a YouTube video about this topic, but I will say there are some creative people out there, Lego resellers, whenever they were gated at the beginning of the year, I think this may have been somewhere around March, they did certain things creatively and they became ungated again. If you're one of those people and you're restricted right now, you may want to try those things and see if that's something that works out for you. Another thing is this appears to be a regional thing. And what I mean by that is if you live in the New England area, you may be restricted from selling Technic Jeep Wranglers out there. But if you're in Texas, you may not be restricted from selling Jeep Wranglers on Amazon. Now, when I first heard this week that Lego and Amazon were, and I view them the same, Lego and Amazon, Amazon and Lego, I just view them the same. But when I first heard that this was happening, I said to myself, surely this is only on active sets, not sets that have retired. But it does look like that there are some Star Wars sets that are restricted that have retired, and it also looks like there are some Technic sets that are restricted and they retire too. But again, I really think that this is only a temporary thing. I'm not saying that it's right, but I really do think that in the near future, everybody that has restricted sets will be able to sell those sets sometime very soon. And my final thought about this, and I'm really not happy to share this with anybody, is I really think that this is the new norm. I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon isn't doing this now. I see them doing this in the near future. They will have artificial intelligence bots when it comes to their logistics, and I'm certain that at the beginning of these restrictions, there were people that were making these decisions, but in the very near future, if not now, there will be AI bots that will just go ahead and they will say, okay, Amazon LLC has X amount of inventory in New England. We're going to restrict all the resellers that have this inventory until that inventory sells out. And then we could go ahead again and give them access to the buy box and selling opportunities. So that's my thought. That's something that I don't think is a good thing. But at the end of the day, I'm going to share with everybody the same thing I share with my 7-year-old a couple times a week. Life isn't fair. If this is the new norm, we have to figure out ways to pivot around it. And there are some people that have, including myself. And then there are some people that will learn, hopefully not the hard way, but they will learn to be creative in this frustrating process. And they will be better off once they figure out other avenues to sell and not just on Amazon. That's it, friends. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Once again, I'm Jim with wolfofbricks.com. Always go out there and get it.